This evening, I'll be talking about stress management and how you can manage stress and how to overcome stress. But before I begin, I want to ask you one question, and that is, how much longer could you take me talking like that? I saw some of the looked, and I heard some of the comments. Oh, this guy won. This guy sucks. Oh, get him out of here. How did he win? Who did he pay off? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that little demonstration is what it could be like when stress starts to get the best of you. You see, when stress comes knocking on your door, he brings a party. He brings his friends. His friends are fear, anxiety, self-doubt. And boy, when they kick in the door, they have a blast. Hey, do you remember back the first week of the semester? Remember how great you felt? All pumped up, excited? I don't know about you, but I used to love to go and get the books, the new books. Oh, love the smell of new books. Anybody else? Just me. Okay, moving right along. Well, as the weeks go on, the stress starts to impact you. And I was looking around for a good metaphor so I could teach people what stress is really like. And I thought of carbon dioxide poisoning. You see, if you go sit in your car, inside of your garage, you turn the engine on and you just sit there, carbon dioxide slowly comes out. It is a silent, deadly killer. You can't even smell it. My friends, stress is the same way, because it'll creep into your life. Remember the first week, the second week, you're all happy, you're glad to be in school. But then what starts to happen? As we get into the third week and the fourth week, then it's like these chains are upon us. And you're moving along, and some of the symptoms of stress are you can't do things as fast as you used to. You start to snarl and growl at all your friends and your buddies. You tell your dad to go to hell. You don't care how much of the tuition he's paying. Well, by the time you get to the third week, you got 3 weeks left. You're like, oh, this has killed me. Can I stop? And you cannot think. You cannot process your thoughts. You cannot remember. You don't even feel like studying. These are some of the impacts of stress in our life. You know, a study was done. I read an article in the Journal of Neuroscience several years ago. They took a bunch of laboratory rats and they trained these rats to go through the same maze over and over and over again for 6 solid months. Those rats knew the maze inside out. Then they started to apply stress to the rats. And the rats who knew the maze inside out all of a sudden couldn't remember. They couldn't think. They couldn't process their thoughts clearly. And that's what happens to us here at students while we're in school. Now, some of the statistics about stress impacting students, the Department of Education released a study where they said that due to stress of school, guess how many students stay in college and graduate? Anybody?
5%.
Oh, not quite that bad. Maybe in some places, but not quite that bad. Nationally, the statistic according to the Department of Education is 58%. More than 50%. More than 1 out of 2 will drop out of college before even quitting. And for community colleges, it is worse. For community colleges, according to the Department of Education, a study released several years ago, they said only 38%. About 1/3 of the students who enroll in just 2 years, they can't stick it out for 2 years. Now, surely we agree there's other things, finances, relationships, things of that sort, but we have to agree that stress plays a big factor in it, wouldn't you say? So 1 out of 3, so look to your left, look to your right. If it's not one of them, do not let it become you. No siree. Now, one of the things that we're going to take a look at today we want to look at and learn some of the strategies for overcoming stress. Now, the first one that I found very useful in my own life is to visualize the outcome. And what this means is not visualize the goal, not visualize getting there, but actually picture yourself in a picture like this. where you are graduating from community college, you're moving on to a 4-year college, or you're getting into the nursing program, you're getting your RN certification, visualize that outcome. Now, there's a great story about this, and this is a waiter back in 1985. He used to travel to the top of Hollywood Mountain, and he would look out, and he would visualize every movie marquee in Hollywood having his name on it. And then he would visualize being the most successful comedian and the top billing movie actor. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? No. Who's that? Yeah, say it again, sir?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, that's correct. He credits his great success to actually visualizing the outcome. And the other thing he did, very clever, his father told him, get a check and write on the check the amount of money you want to be making in 10 years. November 1985, Jim Carrey wrote out a check to Jim Carrey, $10 million. November 1995, he got a paycheck from Warner Brothers for Mask 2 for how much? $10 million. Ah, the power of visualization. Now, our second tool for battling stress is a little video clip from our friend Jim Carrey. Let's take a look.
What do you think the chances are?
Ooh, that's not good.
A guy like you and a girl like me.
Uh-oh. What's happening here is Jim is asking her out on a date. Let's just hold this up.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, so what happened there is Jim wanted to ask this girl out. He traveled across the country, went through the snows. By the time he was at the end, he was on a motorcycle in the snow trying to meet this girl. He finally hooks up with her, and he says to her, what are the chances that you and I can hook up? And she says, 1 out of a million. And that's our second lesson today, and that is that no matter what happens to you, turn that around and make it so that the negative becomes a positive. Folks, I'm here to tell you today that if you go and you take up these challenges, the different things that I'm talking about today, to visualize your outcome, to think positively, you'll be able to circumnavigate stress, and you'll get straight A's in college, graduate, and go on to a 4-year program. My name's Richard Saldan. Thank you very much.